George tried to remember how a real front loader worked. Of course, if the scoop faced upward, then things wouldn't fall out.
Hang on, I have just the thing. No. Oh, where did I put that thing? Ah, here it is. Never leave home without an adjustable wrench. I've also got pickles. Want some? Now the toys are staying in there. I'll hold, and you tighten.
The front loader worked great now, except for one thing. George couldn't get toys into the scoop. George thought about the real front loader again. The scoop needed to be able to tilt.
You're right, George. Looks like we need to loosen things up.
Now the scoop could move. Now to lift the arm.
Well, that didn't work, but I think we're onto something.
George knew Aunt Sylvia was right. They needed a way to make the scoop move.
Great idea.
There was only one problem. How could George steer?
Now, don't you be discouraged. Reworking and revising is what engineering is all about. I learned that when I designed roller coasters. Sometimes you have to sit through a lot of slow rides before you can zoom.
What else could he use to control the scoop? George couldn't find a place to attach the rope.
Oh, that's no problem. Luckily, I've got Sheila. My drill. Isn't she a beauty? Perfect.
Now to see if it worked.
It works. Wonderful.
You fixed it. I'm gonna get my toy makers right on it. Do you mind if I use this as a sample?
Go right ahead. Well, partner, looks like it's mission accomplished.
Before long, George had his front loader back, and it worked like a dream.
That's it. That's it. Bring her in.
Their work was just one small step for a monkey and his aunt.
There you go. Good job, George.
But one giant leap for mud pies. It was going to be easy for this clever monkey. Now the river had 6 and George had none. He didn't want to lose these again. This was the safest place for them.
The Anniversary Jubilaria will now be unveiled after the band plays. That's earlier than planned.
Earlier, time was running out. Those weren't table runners. They were missing stripes. George added 2 stripes to the 6 he'd already found. So now he had 8 stripes, 2 more to have all 10.
George, I've been looking for you. It's time for the town founding play. You're in it, remember?
Let's give a warm welcome to our town founders.
All George could think about was where to look for those last 2 stripes.
This looks like a fine place to live and farm. And let us found a town here and name it. Oh, my word!
So the original name of this town was Oh My Word?
George already had 8 stripes. 1 more made 9. Now he only had to find 1 more stripe.
Now the Anniversary Jubilaria will be unveiled even earlier. Right after the kite flying.
After the kite flying? When was the kite flying? It was now. George had no time left.
Hey, George, did you see my kite? I found a great tail on the ground right in the yard.
There it was. When Allie reeled in her kite, everything would be okay.
Look, an eagle! It's flying away with my tail!
It must want it for its nest. The eagles have a nest on top of Mount Neverclimb. Do you know why they called it Mount Neverclimb? Because no one could ever climb it.
So how could a little monkey get up there?
In just a minute, we'll be unveiling the Anniversary Jubilaria, now with 100 hard-earned stars.
10 stripes with 10 stars makes 100 stars.
Wow, everyone I've ever known is here, but not George. He's gonna miss the big 100.
Oh, sorry, but we can't wait anymore. Happy 100th anniversary!
George? Careful. Mr. Quint wouldn't want a speck of dirt on those.
This was about the hardest George had ever worked on something no one would ever know about. George had had a great day. Still, even counting by tens, 100 was an exhausting number. George's guitar looked almost like the man's guitar. Except for those bumps. Nothing some chopsticks wouldn't fix. Now, George just had to wait for the bumps to dry.
I found some guitar strings.
There were shoestrings, a yo-yo string, some fishing line, a picture wire, and rubber band. George couldn't decide which of Allie's strings to use. So he decided to use them all. He was almost done.
Oh no, George. The hoedown starts in half an hour. We need to hurry. Uh-oh. How do we attach the strings to the top?
These strings were attached to something that turned. If only George could find something like that.
Oh, yeah. That's good, George. Turning it tightens the string.
George's guitar looked great, and it even had lights.
Play it, George. Oops.
George's guitar looked great, but sounded awful. Now the man would never be able to play at the hoedown.
Hey, gang.
Hi.
George, did you find my guitar? Jerry and I wanted to practice.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be playing with this.
Well, it was nice of you to clean it for me.
You're welcome. But don't worry, Mr. Yellow Pants. You can still play. George made you a new guitar. Show him, George. Oh.
This is great.
Huh?
Oh, Bluegrass has a fine tradition of using handmade instruments of all kinds. Washboards.
Spoons?
But this is the only shoestring,
Fishing line?
yo-yo picture wire,
Tennis racket? Birdhouse?
rubber bandolin.
Hey, I think I've got the lyrics for your song.
Let me tell y'all a story about a monkey. He built an instrument to play with a birdhouse racket and a mess of strings. That boy was strumming every day. He had a monkey-built birdhouse mandolin. It was the strangest picking thing there's ever been. It had a shoestring, fishing line, rubber band, and yo-yo. That monkey birdhouse mandolin. Yeah! Let's go! Well, you don't need to take no music lessons. You don't even need to tune it all. A birdhouse mandolin's a cinch to play. Just pick away and have a ball. He had a monkey-billed birdhouse mandolin. It was the strangest picking thing there's ever been. It had a shoestring, fishing line, rubber band, and yo-yo. That monkey birdhouse mandolin. He had a monkey-billed birdhouse mandolin. It was the strangest picking thing there's ever been. It had a shoestring, fishing line, rubber band, and yo-yo. That monkey birdhouse mandolin.
Yeah!
That monkey birdhouse mandolin. That monkey birdhouse mandolin.
There's no way Bird could get past this brick wall.
Uh-oh.
Except through there.
There's Bird! Safe and sound.
I hope that's not what I think it is. It is what I think it is.
Aw.
Steer Bird to us.
Oh, an elephant might step on it. Oh, I'll go to the other side. When I get there, steer Bird left to those bars, and I'll grab her.
To go left, George had to push the joystick left.
The plane is going right. The joystick needs to go left.
left.
Okay. Slowly let go of the joystick. Oh, I can't watch.
George, do something.
If off was on, up was down was up, and left was right, maybe right was left.
Oh, my.
George needed the plane to go up.
You did it, George. Follow that bird.
What do we do now?
Oh, I got it. George lands bird, but this time, so we can catch it, he slides the throttle to slow. The throttle is already on slow. I give up.
Luckily, monkeys never ever quit. If off was on, up was down was up, left was right, and right was left, maybe fast was slow.
Any chance you can turn it off?
If off was on, maybe on was off.
Stellar work. Now to fix the remote. Oh, too late. The flock. Oh, I'll never be able to make the repairs in time.
The lost blackbirds won't be able to join their friends again.
But George knew the remote wasn't broken. It was just backwards. He could launch Bird if he did the opposite of what the book said. To start the engine, he hit off.
I'm back. What is my monkey doing with your bird?
To go fast, he slid the slider to slow. He pushed the joystick down to go up. He pushed the joystick right to turn left. And to turn on the autopilot and activate the computer, he hadn't tried that one before. But if the autopilot was like everything else, if you wanted to turn it on, you had to turn it off.
Thank goodness we found you. Some wires got crossed on the remote, and everything is backwards.
We're receiving transmission.
George, you're a genius.
Hey, any chance I can get you to help me land Bird when the flock heads south for winter?
Monkeys love things that fly. Especially if they're the ones who get to fly them.
I don't understand. We look tall in the store, but short here. I look really wide. That's weird. I was wide over there, but I'm thin over here.
Each new bend produced a different reflected image.
Hey!
And one seemed perfect to make Hundley feel taller. He'd done it. The monkey had made him taller. Hundley couldn't wait to show the doorman.
Hey, Hundley. Welcome back. I was really worried about you.
I seem to have forgotten my keys. Can you let me in?
Absolutely. Huh. My keys were right here. Where'd they go? I don't know what I did with them. Did you find them? It's closed. They wouldn't fall through there.
Hundley, look what we've got! Hey, what's going on? The doorman lost his keys.
Where could they be?
Hundley could see he would just have to get those keys himself. The keys were up there somewhere. The boxes for the new light fixtures made a great stairway. The doorman's keys.
Huh? Hundley, what are you doing down there? My keys! You really saved the day, Hundley.
No kidding. There's no way a big dog like Goliath could have gotten in that itty-bitty space.
Hundley, watch the desk for me, will you?
It's a mirror we made for you, so you'd look really tall. Back when you wanted to be tall.
George figured they could still use the mirror. Only now, it'd just be for fun.
You can play too, Goliath. That's real teamwork. There are good things about all different sizes.
And with the new mirror, changing sizes had never been more fun. George's guitar looked almost like the man's guitar. Except for those bumps. Nothing some chopsticks wouldn't fix. Now, George just had to wait for the bumps to dry.
I found some guitar strings.
There were shoestrings, a yo-yo string, some fishing line, a picture wire, and rubber band. George couldn't decide which of Allie's strings to use. So he decided to use them all. He was almost done.
Oh no, George! The hoedown starts in half an hour. We need to hurry. Uh-oh! How do we attach the strings to the top?
These strings were attached to something that turned. If only George could find something like that.
Oh, yeah. That's good, George. Turning it tightens the string.
George's guitar looked great, and it even had lights.
Play it, George. Oops.
George's guitar looked great, but sounded awful. Now the man would never be able to play at the hoedown.
Hey, gang.
Hi.
George, did you find my guitar? Jerry and I wanted to practice.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be playing with this.
Well, it was nice of you to clean it for me.
You're welcome. But don't worry, Mr. Yellow Pants. You can still play. George made you a new guitar. Show him, George. Oh.
This is great.
Huh?
Oh, Bluegrass has a fine tradition of using handmade instruments of all kinds. Washboards.
Spoons?
But this is the only shoestring,
Fishing line?
yo-yo picture wire,
Tennis racket? Birdhouse?
rubber bandolin.
Hey, I think I've got the lyrics for your song.
Let me tell y'all a story about a monkey. He built an instrument to play with a birdhouse racket and a mess of strings. That boy was strumming every day. He had a monkey-built birdhouse mandolin. It was the strangest picking thing there's ever been. It had a shoestring, fishing line, rubber band, and yo-yo. That monkey birdhouse mandolin. Yeah! Let's go! Well, you don't need to take no music lessons. You don't even need to tune it all. A birdhouse mandolin's a cinch to play. Just pick away and have a ball. He had a monkey-built birdhouse mandolin. It was the strangest picking thing there's ever been. It had a shoestring, fishing line, rubber band, and yo-yo. That monkey birdhouse mandolin. He had a monkey-built birdhouse mandolin. It was the strangest picking thing there's ever been. It had a shoestring, fishing line, rubber band, and yo-yo. That monkey birdhouse mandolin.
Yeah.
That monkey birdhouse mandolin. That monkey birdhouse mandolin.
Was going to be easy for this clever monkey. Now the river had 6 and George had none. He didn't want to lose these again. this was the safest place for them.
The anniversary jubilaria will now be unveiled after the band plays. That's earlier than planned.
Earlier, time was running out. Those weren't table runners. They were missing stripes. George added 2 stripes to the 6 he'd already found. So now he had 8 stripes, 2 more to have all 10.
George, I've been looking for you. It's time for the town founding play. You're in it, remember?
Let's give a warm welcome to our town founders.
All George could think about was where to look for those last 2 stripes.
This looks like a fine place to live and farm. And let us found a town here and name it. Oh, my word!
So the original name of this town was Oh My Word?
George already had 8 stripes. 1 more made 9. Now he only had to find 1 more stripe.
Now the anniversary jubilaria will be unveiled even earlier. Right after the kite flying.
After the kite flying? When was the kite flying? It was now. George had no time left.
Hey, George, did you see my kite? I found a great tail on the ground right in the yard.
There it was. When Allie reeled in her kite, everything would be okay.
Look, an eagle!
It's flying away with my tail.
It must want it for its nest. The eagles have a nest on top of Mount Neverclimb. Do you know why they called it Mount Neverclimb? Because no one could ever climb it.
So how could a little monkey get up there?
In just a minute, we'll be unveiling the anniversary jubilaria, now with 100 hard-earned stars.
10 stripes with 10 stars makes 100 stars.
Wow, everyone I've ever known is here, but not George. He's gonna miss the big 100.
Oh, sorry, but we can't wait anymore. Happy 100th anniversary!
George? Careful. Mr. Quint wouldn't want a speck of dirt on those.
This was about the hardest George had ever worked on something no one would ever know about. George had had a great day. Still, even counting by tens, 100 was an exhausting number.
There's no way Bird could get past this brick wall. Except through there.
There's Bird! Safe and sound.
I hope that's not what I think it is. It is what I think it is.
Steer Bird to us.
Oh, an elephant might step on it. Oh, I'll go to the other side. When I get there, steer Bird left to those bars, and I'll grab her.
To go left, George had to push the joystick left.
train is going right. The joystick needs to go left. Oh, it is left.
Okay. Slowly let go of the joystick. Oh, I can't watch.
George, do something.
If off was on, up was down was up, and left was right, maybe right was left.
Oh, my.
George needed the plane to go up.
Yay! You did it, George. Follow that bird.
What do we do now?
Oh, I got it. George lands bird, but this time, so we can catch it, he slides the throttle to slow. The throttle is already on slow. I give up.
Luckily, monkeys never ever quit. If off was on, up was down was up, left was right, and right was left, maybe fast was slow.
Any chance you can turn it off?
If off was on, maybe on was off.
Stellar work. Now to fix the remote. Oh, too late. The flock. Oh, I'll never be able to make the repairs in time.
The lost blackbirds won't be able to join their friends again.
But George knew the remote wasn't broken. It was just backwards. He could launch Bird if he did the opposite of what the book said. To start the engine, he hit off.
I'm back. What is my monkey doing with your bird?
To go fast, he slid the slider to slow. He pushed the joystick down to go up. He pushed the joystick right to turn left. And to turn on the autopilot and activate the computer, he hadn't tried that one before. But if the autopilot was like everything else, if you wanted to turn it on, you had to turn it off.
Thank goodness we found you. Some wires got crossed on the remote, and everything is backwards.
We're receiving transmission.
George, you're a genius.
Hey, any chance I can get you to help me land Bird when the flock heads south for winter?
Monkeys love things that fly. Especially if they're the ones who get to fly them. George didn't know what deploy meant. And then he found out.
The rover drove away with George.
No problem. Just use the remote control to bring it back.
I can't find it.
Oops, I think I left it sitting on the rover. My mistake.
George was on an out-of-control Mars rover. He had to stop it. That sure looked like a remote control. It was the remote control. Now George was in full control, except for being lost on Mars. Maybe he could find his way using the book. There were the 2 moons of Mars. That wouldn't help him find his way back to the ship, but it sure was cool. He reached the Valles Marineris. It looked like the Grand Canyon, but much bigger than any canyon on Earth. He also found the Olympus Mons, the highest volcano in the solar system. It had a pretty nice view, too. He'd found the rocket. Now all he had to do was drive there. The rover was stuck. He had to give it a good push to get it going again. That was his mission. Einstein's broccoli spinach gum was gumming up the works. He wanted to get to the ship and tell the man with the yellow hat, except the rover wouldn't go. Luckily, he remembered he was 3 times as strong in Mars' low gravity.
George, are you okay?
You were sleeping so peacefully. Did that sound wake you up?
I blew a bubble and it popped.
Then George realized why he was dreaming about gum.
Gum in the main rover control panel.
Did you stick gum in there every time I told you to stop chewing? See, I thought that one was the trash. Oops.
George, how did you figure that out?
All clean. It works. We're ready to launch.
7 seconds and counting. 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
George, you saved the Einstein Pizza Space Program. Thank you so much.
You know, sometimes I think the world would be better off if monkeys ran everything.
I don't understand. We look tall in the store, but short here. I look really wide. That's weird. I was wide over there, but I'm thin over here.
Each new bend produced a different reflected image.
Hey!
And one seemed perfect to make Hundley feel taller. He'd done it. The monkey had made him taller. Hundley couldn't wait to show the doorman.
Hey, Hundley. Welcome back. I was really worried about you.
I seem to have forgotten my keys. Can you let me in?
Absolutely. Huh. My keys were right here. Where'd they go? I don't know what I did with them. Did you find them? It's closed. They wouldn't fall through there.
Hundley, look what we've got! Hey, what's going on? The doorman lost his keys.
Where could they be?
Hundley could see he would just have to get those keys himself. The keys were up there somewhere. The boxes for the new light fixtures made a great stairway. The doorman's keys.
Huh? Hundley, what are you doing down there? My keys! You really saved the day, Hundley.
No kidding. There's no way a big dog like Goliath could have gotten in that itty-bitty space.
Hundley, watch the desk for me, will ya?
It's a mirror we made for you, so you'd look really tall. Back when you wanted to be tall.
George figured they could still use the mirror. Only now, it'd just be for fun.
You can play too, Goliath. That's real teamwork. There are good things about all different sizes.
And with the new mirror, changing sizes had never been more fun.
Wow, this is huge!
Hi there. Thanks so much for coming. Play anywhere you want. Adios.
Hey, maybe we should just play right here. George is right. This room is too big. And this is like George's lobby. Too much carpet.
The food court reminded them of Piscetti's. Once again, the lions were too loud. Finally, next to the T-Rex, the band found a perfect spot.
Nice. Is it the dinosaur that makes it sound so good?
George knew it wasn't the dinosaur. It was the size of the room, no carpet on the floor, and the height of the ceiling.
This is a little tune we wrote called Hooray for George.
He's furry, he's sweet, quite light on his feet. He's got a smile for you and an hola for me. We don't know what he'll say, but he'll brighten your day. With a big monkey grin, well, he can show you the way. So hooray for George, bravo, viva. You clap and I'll sing, let's make the song really swing. So hooray for George, bravo, viva. Nothing beats a spunky that a monkey can bring. He likes all our songs and he bounces along. We have so much fun that we can hardly go wrong. So when it's time to play, we give a great big olay! He's our #1 fan and we all want to say, hooray for George, bravo, viva. You clap and I'll sing, let's make the song really swing. So hooray for George, bravo, viva. Nothing beats a spunky that a monkey can bring. Nothing beats a spunky that a monkey can bring. Nothing beats a spunky that a monkey can bring.
All right. Hey, where can we see you play next?
We don't really have a place to play. Not since they tore down the bandstand.
Hold it, hang on. This band is unique. If George is your #1 fan, then I'm your #2, which is why I've just decided to build a new bandstand. And I'd like you to perform on opening day.
Really? Okay, it's a deal.
Thank you, and welcome to the all-new glass bandstand. Please welcome Lobos de Plata. Hit it, George.
Thanks to the new bandstand, Lobos de Plata sounded great, even when Hundley joined in. Wait a minute.
Huh?
George was confused. This looked like where he'd been before. And that was the same clown, which meant George was back where he started. How did he do that?
Why, hello there. I thought you were going to the zoo. I see. You must have gotten on the downtown train by mistake. You see, there are 2 tracks. The track with the up arrow goes uptown to the zoo, and the track with the down arrow goes downtown to Fisherman's Wharf. So, to get to the zoo... Up arrow, precisely. Good luck.
I don't understand. Where's George? I told him to get on the next train. If George didn't get on the uptown train, then maybe... Could he have gotten on the downtown train by mistake? Because I never explained that there were 2 trains. That must be it. Oh, hang tight, George. I'm coming. George, hold on! Stay on the train and go to the zoo!
Can you make me a dog?
Yes, I know it's a giraffe. It's the only thing I know how to make.
Your attention, please. Due to mechanical difficulties, there will be a 1-hour delay on the Uptown line.
1 hour? That's it. Subway's out. Running's in. See you, Reginald.
Cheerio!
George loved riding on the subway, but he also couldn't wait to see a dragon? Not only did George see a dragon on his way to the zoo, he also saw an Italian opera singer, some Russian dancers, and a Swiss yodeler. Finally, George had arrived at the zoo.
Oh, no. George! You made it, George! All by yourself. And faster than I did. Now, let's hurry and get over to the zoo because I think they...
Close at 4 p.m. Sorry.
Oh, but it took us all day to get here, and we really wanted to see the Komodo dragon. Isn't there anything you can do?
Well, nothing wrong with a monkey in a zoo, I suppose.
Thank you.
So, why did it take you all day to get here?
It's a long story.
Ah, well, little advice. Next time, take the subway. It's faster.
So, how wide do you want this poster? 1, 2, or 3 Georges wide?
Not only were things the right size for George, he was the size.
Okay, let me see. This is 1 George, and this is 2 Georges, and of course this is our 3 Georges wide.
George knew it'd be easier to handle a poster that wasn't wider than he was.
Great! How are we gonna nail this to be 3 Georges tall if you forgot the George stick?
We don't need a stick. There's George. 1 George. 2 Georges. 3 Georges.
There, 3 Georges tall. Thanks, George.
Pick a cake, any cake. You know, a 1 George arm size is perfect for the average freezer.
Cake, decorations. It was all so easy with George measurements.
He's a monkey named George, got a friend with a hat. He's a furry brown feller, and we like him like that.
The cake was in the freezer. The poster was on the wall, and the star was no trouble at all. George was ready for his guests.
Hello, Giorgio.
But not ready for their size.
I hope we're not too early.
Ah, I see you've got a 2 Georges tall apartment and furniture to match. Very unique.
Hey, he's coming!
George is right. We have to hide. It's too small. Where's that plant I can hide
Hi, everybody. A party? For me? Oh, gee, thanks.
Sorry.
Oh, me too.
How about some music?
A George-sized apartment was fine for little monkeys, but not at all good for people-sized people. This was more like it. Everything was the size it should be. Except maybe the cake. 6 o'clock. Only an hour left. And George had to start over. George wanted to get the sizes right, so he decided to measure everything first. This time, George ordered the right-sized cake. And poster. And chose a better ladder.
George, are you home? What is this? To celebrate my birthday? Oh, wow. All my friends and my plumber, my dentist, my barber?
They were in your address book. George put everything together.
He did? Oh, thank you, George.
Maybe it wasn't so bad being a little monkey in a big world after all. And there was one thing his arms were always the right size for. George couldn't wait to get his cart back.
Hey, George! Like my cart? Allie traded it to me for an old backpack. You want to trade that pony for the cart? No thanks. I need this to help me carry stuff to the swap meet. A swap meet is where lots of people gather in a big space and trade stuff. You should come, it's fun. Who knows? You might find something I would swap the cart for.
Annual swap meet tomorrow only. One person's junk is another person's treasure. Oh, this is great, George. I'll bring all the stuff I want to get rid of. Oh, no, that's the keep pile. That's the get rid of pile. Of course. You never know when you might need a sombrero.
The next day, George hoped that between his sticks and the man's stuff, they'd have something that Bill would trade for.
Got it. Need it. No. I like her sombrero, though.
You want to trade the sombrero? Sure.
You want the cart? It's a deal. Oh, wait. I just traded it to Mr. Quint.
Don't worry. Maybe you can make a trade with Mr. Quint.
Well, that's a dandy fishing reel, but unfortunately, I just swapped the cart with my brother for this singing whale.
49 tons of krill on the wall, 49 tons of krill.
George found Mr. Quint's brother, Flint, but Flint had traded the cart to his other brother, Wint, for a back massager. Wint had traded the cart to Mrs. Rankins for some soap on a rope. And Mrs. Rankins had traded the cart to Vicky.
Sorry, George. I just traded the cart to some people from the city.
George had worked so hard to get that cart back, and now it was gone for good.
There's nothing here that I want. See, I'm an artist. I work with wood, and what I'm looking for are unusual sticks. Well, these are the best sticks I've ever seen. Thank you.
At last, George had a cart. Of course, he no longer had anything to put in it, but that wouldn't last long.
We should use the wagon wheels? Oh, yeah! We should use the whole wagon! The handle is sort of like a steering wheel.
If you want to ride in a race, maybe your wheels shouldn't ride off without you. George needed a way to keep the two car parts together. He knew just how to do it. First, he put the steering handle through the hole in the bottom of the boat. Then he nailed the boat to the wagon.
We did it!
The car was almost ready.
Okay, we've got 1, 2, and 3. But we still need... brakes! Oops. Phew.
Hey, kids. Aren't you entering the Derby race? It starts in 10 minutes.
Oh, no! But we're missing a car part and we don't know where to find it.
Well, I'd offer to help you, but,
We know. No help allowed.
well, if you see anything you need, you're welcome to it.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Whoa! I forgot to put on the brake.
Did he say brake?
George and Allie had their break.
Well, it looks okay. We can test it on the way to the race.
The racer's ready. On your mark. Get set.
It works!
Hey, guys! You made it!
Go!
monkey!
For a while, George and Bill were neck and neck.
Come on, faster. Uh-oh.
Now let's meet the winner, Farmer Lincoln's wagon. It was a rather unusual entry, but it met all the rules.
When George retracted the grabbers, he saw the crabs run away, and then he saw something else.
Something's wrong. Pizza, bring him back fast.
Wait, what is it, George? Did you find it?
Did you get it, George?
Yes!
All right, George. Good job.
George!
That was a part of Wales. You okay?
He lost it. Steer him after it.
I can't. I lost the camera. I lost power. I have no control.
You mean?
We have to let the monkey drive the submarine. George, you have to pilot the ship. Use the control stick on the dash.
George figured out how to steer quickly and bumpily. Now that he had control, George took command. Because a monkey always gets his bleeping thing.
Sounds like he's getting warmer. He's chasing it.
Of course. George doesn't know the meaning of give up. Or dental floss.
The light went out, the bleeping stopped.
Oh. George, I'm afraid that means the battery died. You'll never find it in the darkness.
George was disappointed he couldn't find the gift. He went so deep, there was nothing down there at all. Nothing? There was lots down here living in the dark. And the fish were completely different from the ones he saw closer to the surface.
I'm going down, 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 where the fish go to school and the plants are so cool. I'm going down, 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 where the turtles can fly, and I'm wishing that you could be underneath the waves with me.
There were other lit-up fish, too. They were swimming around something. The recorder. George didn't know if they were just curious about that thing or helping him. But he couldn't have found it without the help of his glowing fish friends.
There he is, and he's got it. All right.
I put a new battery in. All the information was saved.
We asked the right monkey for help.
Thought you might like a copy of the last thing it recorded.
It's always nice to have pictures of your friends. And how many friends can light themselves for a perfect picture every time? George felt awful. He'd kept the man up again.
Okay, George, I'm going on my run. Maybe after a cup of tea.
If only he had some way to quietly find the kitchen in the dark. He couldn't see or hear his way. Maybe George could taste his way.
George, don't eat off the floor. Use a sponge.
Okay, so he couldn't use taste. What other senses were there?
Want some honey in your oatmeal?
Maybe touch. If George felt honey with his feet, he'd know he was going the wrong way. He was so excited about his path, he could hardly wait until he couldn't fall asleep to try it out. The honey was working. He was finding his way by touch. Trouble is, once you step in honey, it sticks to your feet. And before you know it, it feels like it's everywhere.
George, what are you doing? Oh. Ooh.
George needed to feel his way with something less messy. Maybe something soft.
We're going for a ride, George.
George's soft path had to work.
What?
Because the man's race was tomorrow, and he needed to get some sleep.
Oh, I'm okay.
George's stuffed animals would tell him where the furniture was, but he needed more soft things to lead him to the kitchen. George sure hoped his path worked.
Sorry, so late. I kept falling asleep. Big race tomorrow. Gotta go to bed early. Right after supper.
George didn't even have to wait until bedtime to try his soft path out. He did it. He'd made it to the kitchen, and he didn't wake the man. In fact, he used his path many, many, many times. because he was so excited about the man's race tomorrow, he was the one who couldn't sleep. The next morning, George was there to cheer on the man as he swam. And rowed. And ran his way to the finish line.
Oh, did you see that,
George?
But George missed the finish. All that walking around made a monkey very sleepy.
Remember, George? We almost lost all the bones here. The delivery guy took the wrong box. Whew, still 4 bones. We know that we went to the restaurant after we left here, but did we go straight to the restaurant? Or did we go to the lake first? Wait, is that a noodle on your cheek? Oh, George, how many times have we practiced wiping your mouth after eating soup? After eating soup! You had soup before we went to the park. That means we went to Paschetti's, then the park. We figured out our path. We left home, bought fruit, ate soup, I fell in the lake, museum. The box is bulging. We still had all 4 bones in the park. So the bone has to be between the lake and the museum.
Oh, this looks bad. Bad, bad, bad. Is there any chance they'll find that bone before 5?
But it must be here if we went right from the park to the museum.
The pictures had to be in the right order. Didn't they?
Yes, I'm drippy because I fell in the lake. What is it? I'm wet? Then we deliver it and... I'm dry. That's right. I forgot. We went home again.
The lobby wasn't just the first step on their path. It was also the next to last step.
So we left home, bought fruit, ate soup, I fell in the lake, went home again to get dry, museum.
Sure, I remember. You left the box in the lobby while you changed. Then your friend took that picture as you left in the dry clothes.
George noticed something else. What was that white blur?
George, please, wait a second. If I explain, maybe he can help find the bone. The bone! Hundley, where did you find that?
Hundley knew exactly where he found it.
Why don't you take a break? There's a surprise for you on the chair.
Hurry! We have 1 minute to get to the museum.
Oh, this is going to be so embarrassing. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what you're all hoping for.
Okay, it's done. Let's go. No! Oh! George, I'm stuck.
I apologize for what you are about to see.
The oldest complete ankylosaurus, over there!
How can I ever thank you for keeping this from being embarrassing?
Primeiro ele colou as partes do coração. Depois começou a carimbar. O cartão ficou ótimo. Mas preparar o carimbo demorou muito. O Dia dos Amigos acabaria logo. Ele precisava dar um jeito de carimbar muitos cartões bem rápido. George apostava que poderia carimbar super rápido em um pula-pula. Mas o carimbo de pula-pula fazia muita bagunça. E era difícil de controlar.
Bom trabalho, George. Tudo bem. Eu vou entregar o resto dos cartões do Dia dos Amigos. Você quer vir comigo? Tá legal. Eu não vou demorar. Seja um macaco bonzinho no Dia dos Amigos.
Toda aquela limpeza demorou demais. Como terminaria os cartões? E ele ainda não tinha uma maneira rápida de carimbá-los. Talvez tivesse um carimbador rápido no armário. Nada de carimbador ali. Ou talvez tivesse. O triciclo carimbador seria muito melhor do que o carimbo de pula-pula. O triciclo carimbador passava por onde você guiasse. Mas o triciclo carimbador esmagou os cartões. E depois os comeu. Fez a maior bagunça no carpete também. O Dia dos Amigos estava quase acabando. George tinha menos tempo do que antes. Ainda restavam 3 cartões para dar aos seus amigos. Que bom que a máquina de waffle estava desligada. Mas um dos cartões estava arruinado. Só que ele poderia fazer um novo no seu super rápido carimbador. Ele só precisava substituir as formas de waffles por formas de corações. Ele tinha que andar logo para aprontar os cartões a tempo. Os cartões estavam ótimos, mas precisavam de um toque pessoal.
Nossa, que dia corrido! legal! Foi você que fez, George. Ficou o máximo. Você quer ser meu amigo?
Meu amigo.
Meu grande amigo.
Meu grande amigo.
É meu amigo.
É meu amigo.
E está sempre comigo.
Now it's really ruined.
George had an idea. He'd broken a few things before, too.
George? George? George?
Okay, he'd broken lots of things. And that's why he had lots of art supplies at home.
It's kind of close, George, but it has to look the same as the old nose. Why? It's important. It's a tradition.
George remembered the old nose had red and gold stripes, and it was curvy. He didn't have anything like that, so he'd have to make the new nose. Out of red and gold yarn.
Good try, George, but that nose is a little too droopy.
The trick was to find the right material. Felt wouldn't do the job, and neither would ribbon.
Pipe cleaner's great idea, George. They're strong and bendy. Perfect. But the rest of the dragon head is covered in red cloth. We need red cloth to cover the new nose.
And fast.
The napkins were perfect. And a little while later, the nose was as good as new.
The dragon looks wonderful. But it's too late. The parade has already started.
Wait, you said the parade ends with the dragon dance.
Yeah, but it's so late, I'm not even sure we can make it before it ends.
Are you kidding? We'll take a shortcut through the park. With all the practice we've had, we're dragon masters now.
Okay, let's try.
So they were like a dragon.
It's nice and wide open here. Nothing to watch out for.
They kept their eyes forward.
Tree!
They stayed in a line. And kept an even distance.
It's that dog again! Run! Be like a
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Rex? Thank goodness. That dragon could have hurt my little baby. By the time they reached the other end of the park, the three were dragon masters.
We did it! Great dragoning, guys. You're an awesome tummy and tail.
Gracias.
Where did she go?
Hey, Dad!
Lily, where have you been? Never mind. I have some bad news. Your cousins are still stuck in traffic. There's no one to help you be the dragon. I'm sorry.
Hang on. I know a couple of experts. Yeah!
that's how. With a little practice and the right materials, a monkey became a dragon. Jumpy's nest was a hole filled with sticks, leaves, and feathers. High up in a tree.
C'est magnifique. My first accordion!
Ducks swam in water, even in winter. And they slept in nests of straw. Deer slept hidden under many trees on a soft bed. Now George knew what he needed to make his sleepover a success. George had made a perfect space for each friend. Now they just needed to come back inside. Success. George's friends loved it. Jumpy nested in his clock. Dumpling perched in her nest. And Dottie slept on her soft, foresty bed. But George was still missing one thing. Everyone slept well. The next morning, George made sure everyone had the perfect breakfast.
What on earth?
George!
George, the mission?
So George got back to work. He hoped to see the little seal again afterwards.
He's on his way.
What a big fish! George had found his first whale, and it was white. A beluga whale. Could there be more? Number 2 was a bowhead. George could tell by its dark coloring. 1 beluga and 1 bowhead. George had already counted 2 whales.
Wow, great job, George.
7 belugas and 5 bowheads.
No narwhals yet. They can dive deeper than the others. Why don't you try going lower, George?
George wondered what was making that strange sound. This whale had a tusk, a narwhal. In fact, a whole pod of them. George knew he'd better count fast. 3 over there, and that one made 4. This one made 5. And all those made... George wasn't going to let anything stop him from counting the rest. Except maybe an iceberg.
George, are you okay?
I think he hit something. An iceberg, maybe? Perhaps.
George, I think it's time to head back. We'll help you find your way. Whoa, what happened?
The communication systems must have been damaged.
George thought he was heading home, but it was hard to tell. George didn't know this whale because it was a seal. His friend had found him. And he seemed to be leading George somewhere.
I finally caught one!
George!
You made it! You're okay!
Tremendous work! You saved the mission, George! Hey, my fish!
But George figured the seal deserved it. After all, he'd led George home.
Oh, well, there are plenty more fish where that came from. Right, George?
George could see Jumpy was right. These nuts were different.
Whoa, 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 George. People don't eat acorns. Well, not usually. We prefer other nuts. You know, walnuts, almonds, pecans, cashews, what have you.
If people didn't like acorns, an animal must have taken Jumpy's acorns. But which one? Deer, turkey, crow, bear, pig, squirrel, raccoon. All these animals ate acorns. This needed more research. George had never seen him before. He carried nuts in his cheeks, just like Jumpy. George thought he'd find the acorns if he followed that little guy. And Jumpy thought he'd find them if he followed George. The thing also ate flower bulbs and seeds. The little guy stored food for winter, just like Jumpy did. At last, Jumpy had surely found where the monkey stashed the nuts. It wasn't the monkey after all. Jumpy wanted to give that squirt a piece of his mind. But that squirt was kinda cute. And generous. Jumpy didn't like him taking his acorns. But anyone could see he was a good kid. He just needed someone to show him the ropes. Someone with experience. Someone like Jumpy.
I see you've made a new friend. Chipmunks are cute, aren't they?
A chipmunk? So that's what that was.
Oh, my pecan pie!
That may be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Oh.
Hassan must have sent us on the scenic route. Ready to see a lot of fish? Here we go.
Take a trip, see somewhere new. Learn about what others like to do.
There really were a lot of fish. There was one that could blow itself up like a balloon. And one that looked like a circus clown. And who knew that glassfish had bones?
Let's learn about the wonders of the world.
Wow, that was fun. Better head back if we want to get to the village before dark. Must be out of gas. No problem. Just need to refill it. Your beach ball. That's right. Here you go. Huh? George, did you take the extra gas can out to make room for the beach ball? And the flashlight? And the flares? Well, I guess we'll have something to play with. Until someone finds us. Catch, George! Oh, I got it! Oh, good catch. What the? George, what are you? Well, look who's here. It's your buddies, the dolphins. Wow, it's the dolphins. They're stirring up the bioluminescent plankton. They're tiny, tiny sea creatures, millions of them. They give off a glow when they're moved. George, you hear that? It's a rescue plane!
I am happy to see you, my friends. How did you ever come up with the plan to get the dolphins to light up the water like that?
Actually, we were playing catch. George, that was amazing. I'm glad you packed that ball.
Let's learn about the wonders of the world.
Has anyone seen my mug?
This was becoming very mysterious.
Not again. Why does everything keep disappearing?
Maybe you simply left it in the other room. Let's look. Come on, George. Let's see the rest of the lab.
Someone had taken the kitten mug, the shell, and the shoe. He didn't know who did it, but he had a pretty good idea what they looked like.
Look at that shell.
It was a shell, all right. But it wasn't George's.
That's a loggerhead sea turtle.
She's injured, so we're taking care of her until she heals.
George wondered, could the sea turtle be the one taking things?
Those flippers make them very fast in the water, but on land, they're quite slow.
If the turtle was slow on land, it probably didn't steal George's shell. Still, it was worth a look.
Maybe it's time we clean the turtle enclosure.
And if you're up for it, we could use 2 extra hands.
Ha! He's right. 4 extra hands. Oh, I'll help, even though I only have 2 hands.
Every hand helps. We'll need some sponges and a bucket.
Luckily, George had brought his own bucket. Where was it? George couldn't believe it. Someone had stolen the octopus, too. His bucket. What was it doing over there?
What is it, George? Wow! You did it! You solved the mystery, George!
So this is where everything went.
But how did the octopus get those things into the water?
Octopuses live in the water, but they can venture onto land for short periods of time.
Yeah, why did Octavia take all these things?
Well, in nature, octopuses collect things like shells and coconut husks to use for protection near their dens.
Like my shoe.
And my coffee mug.
And your shell, exactly. The collection is called an octopus's garden.
Good. Guess we'll need to secure this lid so she doesn't keep getting out.
George liked his shell, but he knew someone who liked it even more.
It looks like that's how an octopus says thank you, George.
That was very generous of you, George.
You can come back and visit Octavia and your shell anytime.
George thought that any seashell that got to be part of an octopus's garden was one lucky shell.
Well, will you look at this? Boat race, bucket toss, water slide. You've got everything you need. The dunk booth? Actually, I think I can help you there.
Got it after the fair closed down. Yeah.
Mind if we borrow it?
Well, only if you invite me to your fair.
Wow! That's the most wonderfulest dunk booth I've never, ever seen.
I think I know where your problem lies, George. Yep, thought so. It's your hinge, all right. Rusted stiff. Hinges are very important. They're what let things open and close. Like the ones on this door. Hinges even help you get around. Like your knees and your elbows, even your fingers. All hinge joints.
But fingers won't help with a dunk booth. We need a real hinge.
Good work, George. Lucky you found a hinge.
Guess what I brought? It's a dunk booth? I'm going in! This is it. Okay, George, have at it. Don't worry, try again. You can do it.
Dunk him, dunk
Hit
him!
the target,
Come on,
George!
George!
Holy cow! The pigs!
Little Mike, stop eating the fair! Where's little Mike?
Whoa, look! I hear you're having a fair.
You don't mind if we pitch in with a little music?
George, you guys remember me? Watch and learn, Mrs. Rankins, because if you got it, you got it. Just warming up.
Concentrate now, George. Eye on the target.
Come on, George. You can do it. George! Thank you. Oh, Mike, this is great.
Nice arm for a city kid, George.
Stand back! want to dunk Mr. Yellow Trunks. Both sides have 1 point.
We did it! We tied! Yippee! Yee-hoo! Yee-hoo for us.
Our final event is Midnight Alarm. It's a humdinger. Whoever wins, wins the muster. This game tests each team's response to a surprise nighttime emergency. When the alarm sounds, each team must put on their gear, attach their hose to their truck, and run it all the way to the other side of that hill and shoot it off.
Oh, yeah. We're
Yellow team's got this one.
Okay. Night, everyone.
Get up! There's an emergency!
All right, let's do this.
That's a new way to do it.
Nice shortcut, George. Yellow ready. Turn on the hose now, hurry. Turn it on.
Red ready.
Red team wins.
All right.
Ah, so close. So darn close.
Congratulations, Stig.
Hang tight, boy. We're gonna need a long ladder.
It's too short. We should get our ladder truck from the city.
Oh, that'll take hours.
George knew Blaze couldn't wait for hours.
Okay, it's set up.
Come on, Blaze!
That's well done, George. And so, the winner of this year's Fireman's Muster is... the Town Volunteers!
What?
You get extra points for a real rescue. It's in the rules.
Here you go.
A muster tests who's best prepared for an emergency. And today, that was you.
We only brought a truck and a ladder. You brought the monkey.
Well, Neptune's knickers. Well, thank y'all. And thank you, George.
Now all he had to do was pull the string at 4 a.m. and... How was George going to pull the string if he was asleep? The heavy book could fall on the string. That would open the flap. But now George needed something to push the book so that it could pull the string. His toy truck could push the book. Now, how would he get the truck to go? George needed something to make the truck start moving, and move at the right time. The ringer hit the bells when the alarm went off. Could the ringer push the truck? George's wake-up machine was set to go. And just in time. He was tired. But it was hard to sleep with a tube of balls hanging over his head. George decided to watch from the sidelines. George's wake-up machine was even better than he'd imagined. But now George was really tired. He didn't see the harm in closing his eyes for just a minute. The birds were tired too, and they couldn't sleep with that snoring. George hadn't overslept. Now he had two ways to get up: a wake-up machine and wake-up birds.
Wow. Hey, George, I think you got something.
George was ready for his very first Hamilton sleepover.
You know, George, not every animal likes to be picked up like a little monkey. Yeah, maybe we should make him a bed down here so we don't have to carry him upstairs.
Say goodnight, George. Don't worry, George. You can have more fun with Hamilton tomorrow.
But George didn't really have fun with Hamilton. And now, they weren't even having a sleepover. George wondered why the day hadn't gone better. But there were a lot of things George wondered about. Like how those baby owls could eat a worm.
Yeah.
Owls must just be different than monkeys. Maybe that was it. George was caring for Hamilton like he was a little monkey instead of a little pig. George remembered that Hamilton liked drinking from a bottle. Nope, not hungry. George wished he knew what Hamilton wanted. Mr. Rankin's list. Maybe that had the answer. That was the problem. Little pigs liked being cozy and warm. It worked. George finally slept, thinking of all the fun he and Hamilton would have together tomorrow, little piggy style. Before George knew it, Hamilton was big and strong, and it was time to take him home.
You did a fine job raising Hamilton, George. Now we just have to see if his brothers and sisters will accept him.
George had done it. He had raised a pig.
Okay, George, time to go.
Had Hamilton forgotten George? Not a chance.